The gym, was there any conversation around that at all?
Nah, even if it was, I don't even speak on, what other people got going on, I would love to fight.
During the week, Shaker Stevenson had Eddie Hearn, Terence Crawford, and Floyd Mayweather watch him spar. What he didn't anticipate, however, was an argument that broke out between Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford after the session. The two were ringside in the gym while Stevenson put in work ahead of his upcoming fight on February 22nd against Floyd Schofield. Speaking to Fight Hype, Stevenson reflected on the meeting of minds in boxing this week, saying, "Man, I don't know how they all ended up in the gym. I feel like I need an extra check for that. I'm always setting up these plays, but I don't always get the credit I deserve. Still, I put together a nice little play and had everybody pull up to the gym. I appreciate those guys for showing up and supporting me. I just try to take the knowledge and advice they give me and soak it all in." Mayweather had previously tried to sign Stevenson, but he ultimately lost out to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom.
Hold me back! Hold me back! You'll fight Eddie! No, you
While Hearn and Floyd Mayweather were able to put their rivalry aside to joke and talk, Terence Crawford and Mayweather's friendship turned sour this year. 2025 is shaping up to be a big year for Stevenson, but next month he'll need to deliver an impressive performance. As for Crawford and Mayweather, despite initially seeming friendly at the gym, tensions flared when Crawford confidently claimed he had no doubt he would defeat Mayweather.
In the gym that day?
Nah, it just was talking about my boxing. It wasn't nothing about no Kid Austin, the fight that I got coming up. It was more so just watching my...
What initially brought them together was Shaker Stevenson's intense training methods. People don't realize how incredibly hard Stevenson trains, and this comment from Hearn gives a glimpse into his mindset. Going without rest breaks and sleep is part of the life of any top-level championship boxer. At times, they'll tell you it's just how it goes.
Yeah, so I mean, look, it ain't the first time you've been around Floyd. It ain't the first time you've been around any of those guys. But, that day, especially with you having this fight, and, a lot of people saying that maybe Kid Austin isn't ready for you. What kind of talk? What was the conversation like in the gym that day?
Nah, it just was talking about, my boxing. It wasn't nothing about no Kid Austin.
Knowing when to fight, when to train, and when to rest is key. And Hearn spoke to IFL about what he saw from Stevenson in the gym this week. "What I love about being in environments like that is seeing the passion for the sport," Hearn said. Last night, Terence was watching Shaker spar. Shaker did 14 4-minute rounds with 30-second breaks. Terence and Floyd watched the entire session before heading to another ring to watch Ray Ford spar.
So if he was pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh, shit, okay, I'm just asking.
Floyd loves boxing. Terence loves boxing, Hearn said. They're both passionate about the sport. They love watching young fighters, giving advice, and seeing people from their communities come through. It was pretty cool. Stevenson's 14-minute rounds with 30-second breaks are no joke. It's brutal for anyone on the receiving end of that kind of sparring. Last year, Stevenson suffered a badly busted hand, so severe that it put him in a hospital bed for a time. This year, however, is shaping up to be huge for him. He's fighting next month on one of the best cards ever seen in boxing history, scheduled for February 22nd.
Terence didn't mention the fight, didn't say anything. You didn't talk to him about it. Floyd,
Sorry.
not a peep.
Not a word.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Thanks, Ed.
Crawford boldly claimed he would defeat Floyd Mayweather if they ever fought while the undefeated boxing legend was still active. The switch-hitting fighter from Omaha, Nebraska, is a 4-weight world champion with 31 stoppages to his name. Most recently, he won the World Boxing Association world title in the super welterweight division with a decision victory over Israel Madrero. That victory marked Crawford's 4th division in which he's claimed belts. He's also been undisputed in 2 divisions, making him one of only 3 men to achieve that in the 4-belt era. As Crawford continues to stake his claim as the best of his generation, fans are left debating how he stacks up against the all-time greats. One intriguing fantasy matchup being discussed is against the last dominant American, Floyd Mayweather.
Pound for pound before.
That would have been a hard fucking fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody, I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on.
Floyd Money Mayweather famously retired undefeated in 2017 as one of the most lucrative stars the sport of boxing has ever seen. The defensive master defeated the likes of Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, Shane Mosley, and Oscar de la Hoya during his illustrious career. The question now is, would Crawford be on that list if the two had crossed paths? When asked on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast how he would fare against Mayweather, Crawford didn't hesitate to back himself. Me versus anybody, he confidently stated. Crawford's trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, shares the same belief, though he admits he's biased. There are two things, McIntyre said. For one, Crawford is like my son, so I'm always going to go with him. Terence has that dog in him. He didn't get to where he is now overnight. It's taken years and years of hard work.
Rumours of Canelo and obviously your good friend, mentor, Terence Crawford. A lot of people a few years ago would have said that's crazy, but I think everybody, when they see the talent of Terence Crawford, forgetting.
If you put Bud in his prime against Mayweather in his prime, Mayweather would obviously be the smarter fighter, McIntyre said. But I think Bud has more dog in him. Whether or not Crawford could break through Mayweather's famous defense remains a topic for debate. However, a more realistic fight for Crawford right now is one between Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez, set for September. Shaker Stevenson, the WBC lightweight champion, believes Crawford would defeat Canelo and even make it look easy. Stevenson has been saying for years that Crawford is the one to beat Canelo, and he remains confident in that prediction.
He's a special fighter, pound for pound. I think many will say #1 in the world, alongside the likes of people like yourself and that great list that we've got at the minute. You see them.
Terence Crawford, the World Boxing Association champion in the 154 pounds light middleweight division, has promised to gain 14 pounds in preparation for the highly anticipated matchup against Canelo Alvarez, which is expected to be the highest-paying day of his career. When asked if he believes Crawford will win, Shaker Stevenson was confident in his response. I've been saying this for years now, and I'm probably the first one who said it, even before Terence started saying it. I've always thought Crawford's style beats Canelo, Stevenson told TalkSport Boxing. Stevenson seems to suggest that Crawford will stand toe-to-toe and trade punches with Canelo in September. However, that scenario seems unlikely given Crawford's usual strategy when facing powerful punches. He typically employs a more tactical approach, so it remains to be seen if he would engage in an all-out war with Canelo.
Yes, honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody.
Crawford typically relies on movement, using his jab and quickly leaping into land shots before repositioning himself. He doesn't stay stationary or engage in relentless attacks. His aggressive performance against Errol Spence was more of an exception, largely because Spence wasn't at his best following his car accident. It's been a little over a year minus 13 months since that fight, and as Chris Mannix pointed out on his YouTube channel, you've got to be very careful if you're moving up to fight above 160 kg, because it's a new weight range. It seems unlikely that Crawford would risk taking a tune-up fight against a super middleweight before facing Canelo Alvarez in September. Given the stakes, he'll likely focus on preparing for the big showdown with Canelo.
Do you respect the Floyd 50-0, or is it like?
You gotta respect anything a person does and stay undefeated that long. So I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it a 50-0 that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter all the time? Nah.
If Crawford competes in the middleweight division, it's likely to be at a catch weight, possibly around 163 or 164 pounds against a middleweight moving up. Potential opponents could include Aaron McKenna, Liam Smith, Austin Williams, or Chiron Davis, fighters who pose minimal threat to Crawford and are ranked lower in the middleweight division. Another ongoing debate in the boxing world is the question of the greatest of all time. Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. are two boxing legends who have left an indelible mark on the sport. Both are widely considered the best pound-for-pound fighters of their respective eras. sparking endless discussions about who truly deserves the title of greatest of all time.
Shabby with 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go up on top there? No. He just didn't stop, right? You got to 50 and you stopped because of Rocky Marciano.
Right.
So Rocky died.
With his perfect 50-0 record, Mayweather is widely regarded as the greatest pound-for-pound boxer in history. His impenetrable defense and ability to control the pace of a fight made him a unique spectacle. Additionally, his career was marked by extraordinary commercial success, with 4 of the 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events in boxing history. However, Roy Jones Jr., an undisputed champion across 4 weight classes, holds a different view. In an interview with Real Life Productions, when asked if he considered Mayweather the GOAT, Jones Jr. gave a simple but emphatic response: no. Slick but punishing, Jones Jr. was the first man in over a century to win a middleweight world title and then do the same at heavyweight. Throughout his storied career, he held top honors in 4 divisions and defeated the likes of James Toney, Bernard Hopkins, and Antonio Tarver, all while showcasing an endlessly watchable style